What I'm going to do now is figure out where we're going to need touch up for additional layers. There's a couple areas here. We're not going to need to cover the whole thing again. The smaller cracks are filled in. We just want to go for the larger areas, and you will feel them. By the way, welcome back everyone. This is the second part of vlog number 2. If you're just joining us, probably a good idea to go start with part number 1 in vlog 2. We are now layering the second coat of the filler, continuing on with the repair. Just like we did with the first layer, we're going to drag the filler vertically and horizontally across the cracks and crevices and the little tiny tears of the leather here, filling in properly. By the way, I will cover mending larger rips and tears in some of the future vlogs, so stay tuned. So basically, you just repeat this process until you're satisfied that all the cracks and the crevices are filled in, and we can go on to the next step, which will be dyeing. Okay, after the third fill, and sometimes it takes more. Again, it's a virtue of patience here. I believe I'm satisfied with what I'm going to get after it's dyed. If not, guys, I could tell you I've come back and filled in again and then re-dyed. It just depends how much time you have, the results you're looking for, and the patience you have. So it's time to dye. Let's get that done. Again, you could do it with a rag. You can do it with a sponge. You can do it with a spray gun. You can do it with an airbrush gun. This has texture, so I'm going to use the sponge because I want to get some texture back into the areas here that we filled in and corrected that are going to be actually perfectly flat if you do not intentionally try to get some texture back into the surface. We have the color, we have the sponge, we shook it up for a good 20 seconds. We're going to take care of this panel. Do one panel at a time, and it's going to be thin coats. Don't worry about trying to cover everything up with just one coat. It's going to take multiple coats. Take your time and do it right. Just to get the dye from the bottle to the seat itself, dab it onto the sponge, circular motions just to spread it out, and then you can dab from there and bring out the texture. Since I'm changing the shade of gray, and if you would be changing the color of the dye, you would definitely want to start in the seams first and then work your way out onto the flat surfaces. But just for the sake of the video, I'm going to do this center section, the center patch here. Not only that, I'm only going to be using the sponge where I'm doing repairs. For the rest of the seat, I'll bring out the canister and the spray gun. Wear protective gloves, wear a respirator if you're going to use a spray gun. Definitely lay it on some plastic depending on where you're applying the dye because it will get a little bit of mess, some drops. If you're using the spray gun, you'll have a little bit of overspray. The dabbing technique is to ensure there is some type of texture as each layer starts to cure, and that's why we're using the sponge and not the sprayer and not the airbrush. Something to keep in mind, the size of the container of dye. In my right hand, I have enough to do this base here, 3 coats plus 4 armrests and a center console with another 3 coats. Depending on how much you're going to repair, that is going to be the size of the bottle of dye. First coat is done, and again, it's thin, pretty much almost translucent. And we are changing the shade from a darker gray to a dove gray, so you're going to see the difference there. But we're going to leave this set for 20 minutes, go for the second coat, and just continue until we have a nice, fluid, solid color throughout that patch. At this point, the center section is complete, and we just have to fix up the cracking on some of these other patches. One on the bolster here. Finish dyeing the rest of the seat, and we're ready to put it back in. Before we do put it back in, I do want to mention I protect everything that I restore with the IGL leather. That way it has protection from transfer, UVA, UVB, spills, dirt, and everything else Mother Nature can throw at it while the top is down. And before I continue, I also want to show you where I do some spot correction on some of these cracks. The filler isn't as heavy as this real horrible worn area up top here. We're just using the filler then to basically fill in these small areas of cracks, and this is hardly detectable here. And I've done that at a couple different areas. I just wanted to show you that. When it's really bad, you can leave a thick layer. When you just have a few cracks, very thin, just enough to fill in the cracks. So we now have a few pieces that are complete. They are repaired, they're dyed, and they're cured. And we have the seat over here, not perfection, but looks pretty good, looks close to new. We are changing shades, so you do want to get back here in these areas that do get tucked in and you don't see, but just in case you have to rip it apart, you don't want it to look, all spotty. So what we want to do now, and you could clean this with an APC, and there wouldn't be any transfer. There would be no problem whatsoever to clean this if it got dirty. But I'm going to add some additional protection, a ceramic coating here, additional UVA, UVB, guard against spills, and all that other stuff. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I'll put a link down below for everything we used today. I will be showing some more kits. There are more than just the kit I used today for leather repair. There are a bunch of decent, effective kits out there, and I will introduce those to you as this series goes on. Until the next video, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.